Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Two Shots podcast. I am Jason.
I'm Mike. Welcome to our international and local fans and friends and family. We love all of you.
And yeah, if you notice, new and improved edition today. We got a great show lined up for you today, but as always, we start out with our shout outs. We got our drinks. Today, I'd like to go first, and I'm going to do a special shout out to the reason why I wanted to start podcasting in the first place. This guy, yeah, he's famous. He's a punter. But man,
For being a famous punter.
the high energy that he brings, and just maybe the not give a fuck attitude on like just going for your dreams, regardless of what it is. So my shout out today is Pat McAfee, and congratulations on the new baby girl.
Pat McAfee.
Oh,
Jason, what are you drinking?
today I'm going a little wussy a little bit.
Was that Di Serrano, I see? Is that what I...
SMD Serrano.
Oh, nice. I'm still on the gin kick myself. Delicious. Sponsored by Hendrick's Gin.
I will move my head. I have a whole big old bar for us.
Man, look at that. That's sexy, baby. Woo. I like it. I like it.
I get to pick and choose.
All right.
It's a little ridiculous, honestly.
So I'm gonna go a little bit topical for us today with my toast, and that is to one of my all-time favorite composers in history, one of the finest composers ever. This is a man, a legend. His name is Koji Kondo, and he is the composer for all of the Super Mario Brothers and Legend of Zelda music and a million other songs that made it into some of my and probably all of your favorite video games from back in the day.
Ours, I'm sure.
The man is a legend. He is an absolute legend. So here's to you, Koji.
Koji. Oh,
Delicious.
oh, that's so good, so easy and good. But it's
I haven't had Di
nonetheless.
Serrano in a little while, man. That's like I have to have some again. I think I liked it back in the day. It's been a bit though.
I think it's like a classy drink.
Totally classy. Absolutely.
And after today's show, we're just gonna class it all up. So we have a loaded show. We're gonna play a little bit of catch up. We've missed out a few weeks, but man, so much has happened.
Yes.
Saturday, for example, was the Kentucky Derby.
That's right.
And
Oh man.
yes,
Oh,
yes.
how did I miss that? I watch it like almost Oh, damn it, Jason. How did I miss the damn Kentucky Derby? I love it. The most exciting, 15 seconds in sports.
15 it really is like it's so quick.
Oh, man, I could have found a big hat and we could have drank mint juleps. We could have done like a watch party for that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
So let me tell you, I got a great story about this. So I'm in my living room just, watching the countdown, and I start seeing the names. And I'm betting. I'm like, let's see, who's going to win? And I just pick a random name.
Yeah, do you just find the coolest name like to see who's
exactly.
gonna win?
And I picked Mage.
And who's Mage?
He's just a horse. Random. He has 16-1 odds.
Or is that because you played a lot of wizards?
Yeah,
There's a buzzword in RPGs
exactly.
over the years.
It kind of spoke to me.
Yes.
So I was like, man, I wonder if one of my buddies is at the casino, could throw some money down for me. So I message him, I call him. Oh yeah, sure, I got you, no problem. He gets to the casino. Oh, dude, they don't do horse betting here. No. And then he's like, so he's like, that means Mage is gonna win.
He's gonna win. Now
like,
you should have called me. I would have figured out something real quick.
Do not curse me with that. And sure enough, Mage won.
Did he
It
really?
Was a,
Oh,
it was a awesome race.
oh my God! Wow, really?
Mage was he was like in 6th or 7th or 8th place around that third turn, and
Dude,
as he's
I'll
coming
bet
down
you
the
would have
home
shit
stretch,
yourself. Did you shit yourself? Be honest.
kind of, yeah, I was pretty close to it because I found out I would have won because I was only going to throw
Well,
$20, like
16 to 1. You want to
nothing.
do some math on that? Was that
300,
360 bucks?
320 bucks.
320?
Yeah,
Yeah, 20 bucks. 320 bucks. That's why I got into
yeah.
computer, so I wouldn't have to do math.
So, like, yeah, no, that sucks, but it was fantastic to watch the Derby. Um,
Mm,
and there's so much other stuff going on. We got the Stanley Cup playoffs.
yep.
We
Yeah.
got some NHL to talk about.
Oh, and lo and behold, the technology of our ever improving podcast.
Boom.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. There it is,
Oh,
right
that's
there.
beautiful.
Right there. Holy crap. The
Look at that.
technology is
So,
off the charts. We now have the Stanley Cup bracket right up there, so we can both see it.
I'm not much of an NHL guy, but they do always say the playoffs is the time to become a hockey fan.
Sure.
And I would probably be willing to believe that, except for I think there's only 3 teams that I was like, okay, I know these teams, I would root for them.
Mm-hmm.
And only 2 of them so far have gone on.
Mm-hmm.
I am super on board with Seattle Kraken making it
Yeah.
only their second year into the game as a team. Making
That's
it to
right.
the
They were
playoffs.
expansion, weren't they?
Yes,
Yeah.
And then let's go Florida Panthers.
Yeah.
I gotta go for the South Florida team.
Yeah. I especially like the Panthers because, let's see. I can't remember if we decided if we were fucking cussing on this thing now because
Oh yeah, I mean,
yeah, because fuck Toronto because they're the ones that took the Lightning out.
I mean,
And I was
yeah.
rooting against them for the whole fucking Lightning series. So, because
Yeah,
I am a
too,
fair weather Tampa Bay Lightning fan, being in Tampa. So I watch a lot of that stuff. Whenever the Lightning is doing really really good, when I go out to watch basketball, usually around the same time all the hockey games are on too. And Tampa is not a basketball town; they're a hockey town and a football town. So
Yeah.
it's always hockey games that are on while I'm begging them to put basketball games on when I go out to bars.
Well, it's funny because like in Florida, in Central Florida, you see go boats all the time,
All the
So
time.
yeah,
Yes.
I'm right there with you. I'm fair weather, very much fair weather on any of these teams. But let's go Seattle and let's go Florida. That
Yeah.
would be a phenomenal game.
I think that would be great to get them at the bitter end. Then Jason in Seattle and Mike in Florida would we can
be
yell
a
at it.
great-
We'll do a how we do a if they make it to the Stanley Cup finals. We will let's do like a watch party or something like that.
We're gonna have to do a watch
yeah.
party. We have to.
We'll
like,
stream it
live.
or something. We'll figure out some way
Yeah.
to do it. Yes. All
Because
right.
I mean, I think it would just be wild to see
Mm-hmm.
our 2 state teams going.
That's right.
You had 2 teams, so you had a better chance. And
Yeah.
with the Panthers, the Panthers were like the bottom seed.
Yeah.
So the fact that they beat out some of the better teams, or they're
Although the
beating
one
the
seed,
better
yeah.
teams,
Yeah.
oh, let's go.
Absolutely.
So that's pretty much the extent of our NHL knowledge.
Yeah.
I don't know any players. I just know that like
Yeah.
the
Like, is
game
Jaromir Jagr still playing? He's probably in his 60s by now. Like,
I was gonna say Mario Lemieux. Let's go
like-
Penn State.
I only know I know
Penn State.
some players like the ones that used to be on the Lightning back when we did the Stanley Cup, like in the early 2000s back in the day. I remember a lot of those guys, Marty St. Louis and stuff like that. And I know he's
yeah.
he's hated now in Tampa. So it's like it was a bunch of. That's the extent of my hockey knowledge, really. I mean, I know the game a bit, and I always have fun. If I ever go to a game, it's a lot of fun. But yeah, I'm very fair weather.
Yeah, very much. But I mean, be remiss if we didn't at least talk about it, right?
For sure, for sure. Since we have subscribers out there that are only getting their news from us, so we have to make sure they're up to speed.
Or at least give our opinions on it. Like
Absolutely.
even, like going back to the whole gambling thing, this is a whole bracket that people like to
Oh
put
yeah.
money on. And actually, in our next recording, uh, we will probably be bringing in a self-proclaimed, mind you, gambling expert. We're
Ooh.
gonna put him to the fire and see what kind of money he can win people.
That sounds amazing. And then we will provide even more value to our both international and local subscribers.
Especially the nation
That's right.
subscribers, the ones that are. I
Interested
mean,
in
because
American sports. Yes.
the gambling thing is like where you're at in Florida, you can do it online. I have to go to a casino to sports bet, and it sucks.
Like
But
I will
that's a
gamble on
thing.
just about anything that's a bracket. Like for example, I have even for like $1, like friendly sports betting with your friends. Like I have literally done brackets for the Food Network's Tournament of Champions,
Oh my God,
which by the way is fucking awesome.
it's a fix.
That
It's
it
rigged.
might be a little rigged, but it is a lot of fun to fill out one of those brackets, especially because I went back and started with like season. Once I realized that this was like a bracket challenge, I went back and did like real time sort of watch parties with brackets and went through each season. So I had a whole bunch of gambling for like 4 seasons in a row for the Food Network's Tournament of Champions. And you get real invested in this shit and you learn who all the chefs are. And you're like, no way, this guy's going to kick this other guy's ass and stuff like that.
I tell you what, the
It's
bracket
great.
thing.
I love
This is
brackets,
my
man.
this is my first year going like back to March.
The
This is
March
my first
Madness,
year
yeah.
really getting in. Oh my God, those kids play their hearts out,
It's the best.
and
Single
it
elimination
was
is the
so
best.
good. Yes, and I think I liked it because of the single
It's a shit show,
elimination,
man. It's amazing. They're crying every game. There's tears. Oh my
and they
gosh, they're
play their
playing for their
fucking
lives.
asses off.
Yes,
And,
they're playing
I
for their
equate it,
lives, man. They play for their lives. It's
I
amazing.
equate it to football because football's my favorite sport, and it's
Hmm.
one and done.
Hmm.
And seeing the college, the March Madness, I was like, holy
Yep.
shit, this is amazing to watch. And like, I mean, some of the players, there's some of the teams they don't score very high. I don't even care about it. Like,
Hmm.
as a former basketball player of my own, like I love just the
The
grittiness
game.
of like college ball because in the NBA, which actually
Yeah.
great transition
Yeah, we could talk about that.
because we also
Oh.
have NBA playoffs going
Oh
on.
snap! There's
Um,
our NBA bracket because our technology is off the charts now on their podcast here.
we we have I don't know what your opinion is, and I think we've discussed it before, but and especially after watching college ball for the first, really paying attention to
Hmm.
the first time this year, NBA, they just you can tap somebody and it's a freaking foul.
Well, if you are anything like me, I really started watching NBA in the '90s and like the
Yes.
Jordan era and stuff like that. And yes, it is a much different game, like visually and pacing wise and stuff like that. So the NBA is real interesting compared to like say baseball, despite the fact that baseball actually had a few rules changes this year as a way to like perk the game up, whereas like NBA does rules changes all the time to try to speed the game up and make it exciting. And as much as us old farts like to say that we want to watch a defensive slogfest where like these guys are playing like lockdown defense all the time,
Yeah.
old guys like us like that, Jason. But it turns out the rest of society wants a super fast, high scoring game with tons and tons of shots and tons of like offense.
Well, I
It-
mean,
And that's what the
They have
NBA is right now. It's very offense focused.
and they have
So
so many
they don't let you
perfect
play
players.
lockdown, really like heavy-handed defense like they did.
Yeah, that sucks. That does.
Hmm
Because like you said, yeah, call it the old school guys, but man,
if
I
you
will
if you
say
grew
that
up in the 80s and into the 90s and you watched basketball during those time frames, you remember how lockdown defense was.
absolutely.
And it got worse in the early 2000s where the games were even lower scoring.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
so
but
they had to reel that in. I think the game might have actually been a little bit boring to people. Like when it's so much defense, the average person does
no.
not like it as much as high scoring games.
Well, because like I no, because you look at some of the stars from then. Like I'll take Shaq as an example.
Oh, Shaq is awesome.
Defensively, it was amazing, and he was still able to put points on the board like crazy.
A lot of points, yeah,
Um,
for sure
yeah,
he was.
exactly. So, like, I don't know if I mean, I look at like Steph Curry
Uh huh.
and what he did before. Let's see, going over there to before they're hitting the Lakers. That game 7
hmm
that that they did
hmm
where Steph put up 50 points, pretty much put the whole team on his back to win that game.
Oh, like all of 2016, like the whole season.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, yeah, right. Because he is just a dog, and he is, in my opinion, he is just a probably like a step above almost any other player.
Especially for shooting. And he's not even bad on like, he's super quick. He for a good long time he actually played a lot of defense too. I mean, and he was really like Steph is so what was really cool is or I mean historically for me, I watched a lot of basketball in the 90s and then I took a bunch of time off and I came back in the end of the 2015 season and then I really started watching in the 2016 season and that was the year of the crazy Golden State Warriors run that was like
Yes,
it
yes.
was like watching the Harlem Globetrotters play against everyone else. Steph Curry, they wouldn't even play him in the fourth quarter because they didn't need him. Like that's how they would do load management on him. They just wouldn't have to play him all the whole game because they'd be so far ahead. You just sit him in the fourth. And Steph
That
was it was out and then when Steph like Klay Thompson was right behind him. It
Yes,
was so
yes, you are.
crazy.
Yeah.
That season was so crazy, and then they lost. Like that whole season, we could probably spend a whole podcast to talk about my emotions that season.
I mean, for crying out loud, like
Oh man.
I didn't know Klay Thompson was actually on the team that long.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's real funny because that was this is a real like the amount of sort of drama around that team and stuff like that because Mark Jackson used to be their coach and he pissed off everybody and then they brought Steve Kerr in and Steve Kerr made this crazy magic happen which caused that team to just go to the stratosphere but Mark Jackson had a
Yeah, dude,
team of like all of those really good players and couldn't do anything with them and it was bullshit. Like if you want to say that like Shaquille O'Neal all the time is like coaching don't matter Chuck is bullshit. It's just all players. Don't matter. Coaching don't matter. Well, I think coaching had a lot to do with why that team was so good. Now, granted, they were all like younger at the time and weren't quite into their own. But like Steve Kerr made some magic, caused that 2016 season to happen. Even though
I was gonna say.
he didn't actually coach the end of that season. It was his what's his name the son of famous power forward. What the hell's his name? Bill Walton. Walton's kid was the acting coach for half of that season
Tell
anyway.
tell
Luke
Shaq
Walton.
that
Google me, Chuck.
that Phil Jackson didn't matter.
That's what Shaq always says on like Inside the NBA. He's like, coaching don't mean as much as you think it does. Google me, Chuck.
I don't know, man. Like
How
Phil
many rings does
Jackson,
Charles Barkley have? That's
Phil
right.
Jackson won and freaking Chicago went over
Then
to
went to
LA.
LA. Yeah.
And won. God, coaching matters. Coaching
Now,
and
I
Steve
mean,
Kern is pretty great.
if you
Actually.
can just get everybody to get on the same page, I mean, you can run the triangle offense with Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen, and you can run it with Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal and be fine,
Exactly.
right? Like
Yeah.
as long
Right.
as they're even slightly coordinated, you're going to be okay. I think that's to Shaq's point. But great, like you have to get everyone on the same page in order to make any sort of offense work. If you're gonna like, we just run box and one all day on defense, all or whatever the hell they're gonna do, or we run pick and roll all day. That's like whatever. You still have to get the whole team together in order to make that work. And Steve Kerr made that crazy system work in 2016, and they've been mostly doing it. Dude, I'll talk about basketball all day. We can move along if you want to do a whole basketball themed episode. I'm happy to do it.
There's
But
just one more thing I'm going to say about
Yep.
this. If you put Phil Jackson
Mhm.
in the 1997 or 98 Orlando Magic, we would have finally had our championship.
So that was Penny and Shaq. Was that before Shaq moved?
No, that was Penny. Yeah, it was Penny.
Penny, Shaq, Horace
Dennis
Grant.
Scott, Horace Grant,
Dennis
and
Scott.
Nick Anderson.
Have we discussed Dennis Scott, by the way?
I think we may have.
Ah! All right. I won't derail our wonderful podcast. But if anyone out there is anywhere near Google, do not do this now. You should just listen to our podcast. But after the podcast is over, after you have liked and subscribed and mashed the notification bell, Google Dennis Scott and his meltdown at
We did talk about that.
kids camp. It's the greatest thing ever. That's all I'll say about that. After you have liked, subscribed, and mashed the notification bell, go
We
Google
have
that shit.
discussed that.
Okay.
Moving on to a little bit more news in the sports world, we do have a lot of stuff happening in the NFL. You said you haven't been keeping up with it.
I am
but
shoddy with my NFL knowledge, but I know you're not.
I absolutely am not. So we have, oh my God, we have Aaron Rodgers.
I'm aware of that
New
one.
York Jets. That's the biggest one. Alan Lazard, Randall Cobb, all former Packers, pretty much that are free agents, are now a New York Jet. People seem to think that that's going to be the winning combination. Me personally, it's the New York Jets. I think it's going to be more of the same. And even though I kind of like Aaron Rodgers, I don't wish him any luck, because if you look right behind me, right there, right there, that's Dan Marino, the greatest actual passer, and then the Dolphins. So yeah, I can't root for the Jets at all, nor should I. But
And
that's
star of
big
Ace
news.
Ventura: Pet Detective. Absolutely.
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 One of the greatest, funniest movies ever.
Finkel is Einhorn, baby.
and then we have Lamar Jackson getting a mega deal to be the quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens, to stick there. And OBJ, Odell Beckham Jr., is now a Raven. So like the AFC is really getting stacked. We had the draft, and I mean, I think the Buffalo Bills got better on offense, on paper, of course, but you still have the juggernaut that's the Kansas City Chiefs. They're going to be hard to dethrone. The Patriots still suck because Mac Jones is their quarterback. People will say the same thing about, Miami's got Tua. Tua's a way better fucking passer than Mac Jones. Me with that. I will debate that all day long. But yeah, the AFC is just a juggernaut. And NFC, you have the Eagles, and I'm pretty sure the Eagles are going to go back to the Super Bowl, to be honest with you. Because they pretty much drafted Georgia Bulldogs. And if you watch any kind of college football, the Bulldogs are just straight dogs. And, what was it? Oh, yeah, well, I think the Rams may have improved a little bit. They drafted Stetson Bennett, who I think is going to be a great NFL quarterback. But he didn't go until the third round, so people don't have a whole lot of stock in him. But and I think the Seahawks got better this year. So the NFC has some teams, but it ain't gonna come close to the AFC in my opinion. So your Tampa Bay
The
Buccaneers.
Tampa Bay no Brady's. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Oh well, see the big thing with the whole Tom Brady. He mentioned maybe I'm not ready to retire yet.
Oh, did he really? Oh, I missed that. The Brady era was really good for us Tampa fans, man. It was nice to have a little bit of pride in your tribe, because it's been really rough since around 2002 when we had a really good team.
Don't talk to me about rough.
And yeah, you're a Miami fan. It's been, well, probably since Dan Marino, right?
Yeah, well, since Dan Marino, and then if you go Super Bowl wise, the 72, 73 Super Bowl back-to-back seasons.
Yep.
So, yeah, don't talk to me about rough. But
Yeah.
the whole Tom Brady thing is hilarious. I
Yes.
saw this. He did this. I don't know. He was doing some tech deal, maybe for like NIL or
Oh yeah, wasn't he
Bitcoin
in
or
trouble?
something.
Is this
Yeah, yeah, he was.
Yeah.
He was doing some interview, and some reporter asked him like, "Hey, since you live down here in Miami, would you think about coming out of retirement to go play for the Dolphins?" Really? Really? Why would you have to ask that? Because he didn't say no.
Oh man.
And I could tell you, Stephen Ross, the owner of the Dolphins, absolutely knobs on Brady.
I mean, a lot of people do.
Not
I,
this
I was
Dolphins fan.
I was a knobber while he was down here the whole time. I'm not gonna lie.
You and all the rest of Tampa because
That's right.
they named it like Tampa Bay.
Oh yeah, we were showing some love to our daddy Tom Brady.
And he definitely returned that love. But
Oh yeah,
oh man,
yep, it was awesome.
46 years old. He'll be 47 if he truly
Jeez.
thinks about coming out of retirement. 47 years old. And if he's the Miami Dolphin quarterback, I think I might just want to shoot myself.
Well, as a Tampa fan, I might too.
Yeah, because you got Baker Mayfield. It's gonna be fun to watch that this season.
Did they say they were going to start Kyle Trask at all? Or are they still?
No,
They're
no,
not going with Trask.
He's trash.
Oh man, whatever. I watched him at University of Florida. Man, he was so good. Oh,
There's a
because
huge difference,
we had a mantra: Trask ain't trash. So I guess now he is trash, right?
no, he is trash. Yeah.
Like
They
damn
were
it.
seeing it during the preseason. They're like, oh man. I
Oh,
mean,
no good.
I don't think they're ready to give up on him. But they got Baker Mayfield, who
Yeah.
kind of lit it up towards the end of his season in Los Angeles for the Rams. So
Yeah.
Tampa's like, we'll just go ahead and pay you a couple mil and
Yeah.
try to win this.
Sorry, Kyle. Sorry, buddy. I've been rooting for you the whole time, man. I had your back, but I guess you let me down.
Well, when you're behind Tom Brady, it's kind of tough.
Yeah. I mean, I guess he didn't learn
You
much.
you don't get
You
much
know?
chances. Yeah.
And you're not gonna touch a blade of grass, man. not
Exactly.
unless Brady is like having cramps or something, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like, oh god,
Yep.
my menstrual cycle.
Right. It was good times. The Brady Buccaneers era for me was really good times. It was really good for us Tampa fans, man. I mean, the last season was rough, but man, when we were winning, it was like, yeah, boy, it was good.
It was good for all of Tampa. And
I watched
even,
like every
most of
game when we were
Florida.
winning like that. I guess I'm a fair weather football fan too. I'm like the worst fan. I'm a jackass.
Hey, a lot of people could say the same thing.
Yep.
But when it just comes to,
I admit it.
to football,
Yep.
like I used to love basketball. Used to love watching it. I can't watch. We just discussed it. I can't.
Yeah.
There's no defense. I don't necessarily.
You're an old
love
guy, man.
that.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty much. Old dad just wanting to
That's
watch
right.
something good.
You know, like
So-
watching these kids nowadays running all over the place, getting free shots.
I hate it so much. Like, the free throws are. I think.
Well, the free throw thing was a big deal, man. As someone who played a lot of fantasy, I'd pick up like James Harden all the time, and he would always get. He was like a dark arts master, with like flopping and shit like that, and then like that fade or that like stutter shot that he would do where he'd like line it up real quick and then draw the guy on him and then he'd like fake shoot it and get 4 points. Like,
I think he still does it.
they tried to crack down on it. I don't know if they really can though. I mean, you still gotta have that rule. You know, if a guy like basically flies at you while you're shooting, that probably is a foul. even in the '90s, that would have been a foul. But like,
give or take some, you know.
He would like lead him on like bad though. He was the dark arts man, like flopping and shit like that.
The referees are definitely
bought and paid for
now. Yeah, I believe it.
Go watch that documentary. What the hell was his name? Can't remember. In the 2000s.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
On that note,
anyway,
that's our sports.
That's our sports update. Our weekly sports update.
We have other stuff. We've also been doing other stuff. That sports talk is fun, but man, we also have done some adventuring out.
How about to the theater? Is that
there you
is that
go.
next?
Let's go. Yep. That's
all right.
next.
All right. Here we go.
Dungeons
watch the technology. Boom.
we have both seen this movie.
Yes.
And Mike, I'm going to let you go.
I'm happy to start this off. So I have a lot of strong opinions on probably every topic. On this movie, I also have some strong opinions, and I actually loved it. I did love this movie, and there were certain things that I did love about it that like cracked me up, like practically had me in tears. And without spoiling anything, I mean, we can spoil it. If you haven't seen it by now, you're probably not a huge fan. So anyway, it was basically designed around making a movie out of like a decent enough role-playing session. And one of the things that kept coming up is these characters having like the most awful backstories that bad D&D players have ever come up with, and they're all like, they have dead parents, they're avenging their like their family. Like, if you've ever played Dungeons and Dragons, which me and Jason have played a ton of it, everyone has these awful dramatic backstories for their character. They're so shitty, they're all the same. It's like, my parents were killed by drow elves or something like that, so I have a vendetta against them. And like every time you turned around, someone was like explaining their backstory in this, and it was freaking hilarious.
Hilarious.
Like, so hilarious. That stood out as being some of like the funniest parts of this movie. I was like, wow, you guys really played D&D, the guys that made this movie. And they
I think so.
They brought so many like shitty D&D tropes to life and made them hilarious. I thought it was great, man. I loved it.
On the same aspect, they had the hero backstory as well.
Yeah.
Like the I'm the holier than thou type, they did. I second. I would probably, man, this movie, and I'll be honest, I like the first D&D that they had with Marlon Wayans, even though it was
what's his? Yes. Oh God, I haven't seen that one in forever.
Me either.
It's like 2001 or whatever.
It was hilarious. Like, it was kind of funny, goofy spoof movie, but it was cool. It was nowhere near as good as this. I think this was phenomenal. The owlbear. I'm going to spoil it. There's an owlbear.
It looked great. All of us know druids ain't turning into one of those though.
No, yeah, it was fantastic though.
It was so great.
Cool.
Yeah, it was so cool.
I mean, they did a fantastic job. I would probably say this movie deserves a good 9.4.
Oh yeah, I gave it like, if you didn't play D&D, I'd probably give it like an A-, and if you played D&D, like an A+. But either way, the movie was like an A, especially in like a sea of like shitty movies. Man, there's been so many bad movies lately. This one was really good. Tons of crappy movies.
This month when this movie came out actually sparked other good movies, which now we could switch on topic to.
Let's see who's next. Oh! Was this the one next on the list?
Mario Brothers.
Oh yeah. There we go. So
this movie has been highly anticipated for
our whole lives.
Oh my god.
Especially if you watch the first one with what's his name, John
John Leguizamo.
Leguizamo and
Listen,
who's it? Hopkins? Not Anthony Hopkins. What the hell is his name? The dude from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Uh,
oh yeah, yeah.
oh my god.
This movie was no. It was first off that Mario Brothers was great. I do want.
It was great in its own right, man. But it was
Absolutely.
very avant garde, man. It was very it was a very
It was live action.
interpreted kind of
Yes. Yeah.
funny, man.
Oh god, John Leguizamo was fantastic. As Luigi, like
Yep.
I loved it. The live
I mean, I
action
did like it
aspect of
too.
it.
I've seen it a million
Like,
times when I was a kid. Yeah.
oh god, I'm trying to find it so I could buy it again. To be honest with you, but
Mhm.
so taking that aside, because this was not live action, it was
No.
very very good animated. The people who brought you Minions and stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah. The animation
This
was spectacular.
this movie was phenomenal.
Yes.
Um,
A
I
plus.
like.
Absolutely.
I give it like a 12 out of 10.
12 out of
Like
10,
it
man.
was,
I loved it. Yeah.
it was Chris Pratt. People gave him so much shit
Yeah.
for
They can
not
suck it.
going
He
into
was
an accent.
amazing. He was great.
Oh God! But I gotta tell you, I don't know about you, but the person that won the movie for me, Seth Rogen,
Oh, he was he Donkey Kong? No.
Donkey Kong.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I think Donkey Kong pretty much. He could have carried the movie by himself.
Oh yeah. The characters in this were so great. Like I say all, like they were all A pluses, man. Every and like every scene of this movie had like 50 Easter eggs and references
Oh, yeah.
to every piece of the game, and like memes and tropes and stuff, and it was so good, man. I was so happy, like when I saw that movie. I was like, this movie. I was laughing so hard, I was crying.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
oh my god, it was good, man.
It
The
was-
music, like they did rearrangements of the original music and threw it in
Yes.
everywhere. And oh man, yep. Like, I thought it was great, man. It was great. Totally great.
I absolutely loved it. I took my son to
Mhm.
it, and of course, we can't be quiet when you're so excited. He was
Oh
like,
yeah.
"That's from Mario."
Oh, I was that guy too.
Galaxy, yeah, he was. We were just.
I don't
going on
believe
the
they brought out
references.
the cat suit. Oh my god, that
Oh,
was
it was
crazy.
so cool, wasn't
Wow, that's great.
I thought they would have maybe only stuck it to like the Fire Mario. But
Yeah, they did. They put a
Oh,
lot of
man.
shit in, man. They did. It was
they really.
brilliant.
And for those who haven't seen it that want to complain about Chris Pratt,
yeah, they could suck
it's
it.
not a spoiler. he literally, like, Mario explained it. In
They did. It was part of the
first 5
plot.
minutes.
Yeah, it was great.
It was so great
It
to
was.
tell everybody to basically suck it.
Yep.
It was awesome.
So good. It was so good. Let's see. I'm trying to think of anything that was particularly cool.
Yeah, Jack Black.
Jack Black
they
was
have
great.
A hit song. They have a freaking,
Peaches, 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 peaches.
exactly. Like the last time I looked, it was like number 83 in the freaking top 100. And it's the
Yup.
most simplest song. But it's Jack Black, and what
You
do expect?
gotta,
like.
he's gotta sing something, man. He's Jack Black. What are you gonna do?
God, it was hilarious.
Yup. So good, man. So good.
Borderline, as far as I know,
Mm-hmm.
maybe movie of the year.
Yeah. When did Top Gun come? I really like Top Gun, but I think that was last
That was
year.
last year.
So
yeah, and that was fantastic.
That was the one I was like, man, I haven't felt this good about a movie since Top Gun. I was like, dude, this movie's good, man. This movie is
It
good.
is so good.
with D&D and with Super Mario, man, you could tell, and this is the thing, and with Top Gun, there are people that make movies because they like love it and they love the source material and they want to do right by it, right? And
Yeah.
Top Gun, you can tell Tom Cruise loves that shit. He loves it and wants to make like the best movie he possibly can. Loves it. The guys that made the D&D movie, like they played D&D and they put all the tropes and shit into it. Like you could tell. All the Mario people that made this movie love all of it. Like there was so much, like, I mean, they got Shigeru Miyamoto to like executive produce it. I mean, who's the guy that made all of it, and like, I'm gonna say, yeah, that's why these movies end up being so good. It's because like all these people, they're not just trying to like make a buck or whatever. Like they put their soul and their guts into these movies, and that's why they come out awesome.
Well, my son actually made a very good point, and that's a good talking point too.
Sure.
If you look at Mario, that was around when we were kids.
Yes.
So the people that are making the movies now are our age.
Yeah. Yep.
So they played the games, and they loved the games just like we did. So yeah, they put their heart and soul and blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah, man.
And you know, the actors are our age too.
Yep.
So like, yeah, it was. I don't know that they ever played. That's besides the point. But like the writers,
I'm sure Chris Pratt played him some Mario as a kid. You know he did.
I'm pretty sure he did,
but
because he can nail the wahoo part just right.
Yeah, it's so good, man. That's such a. It was really good. Go see that. Go see that movie, man. If you haven't seen it, like, what the hell are you doing? Come on.
4 times over, go see it.
Go see it.
I would have paid. Actually, I still will pay to go see it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go see it again. I saw it once in the theater. I'll probably go see it again if it's still out. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. I gotta go see what the hell what shit just came out. Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, I'll probably go see that. I like the first 2. We'll see if I like this one.
I heard that it's gonna make you laugh and cry.
Oh,
and laugh.
God! If it's one of those, like as long as they're not fucking with me, then we're good. Like if you're gonna tell me if it's a good story, then you can tear jerk me around a little bit. But if not, if you're just fucking with me, then I'm gonna be pissed.
Well, it's James Gunn directing, so I imagine it's gonna be good.
He's pretty good. I mean, I like him.
The first 2 were good, and I am looking for. I completely forgot that it came out last weekend.
I didn't even know until like today. Like someone reminded me. I was like, that's not good.
No, it's not. They didn't push it as hard as they've done the other ones.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But another good point, real quick, before we move on to our next movie is, I think the movie theaters missed us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, they did.
They're just pumping out some good movies.
Well, COVID shut everything down for a while, so now they're trying to recoup 2 years of losses.
Yes, yeah, that's what I mean. Like they missed us, and they are giving us gold after gold.
There's been some good ones lately, man. There's been good shit out there. Even some small little independent movies that. All right. So, I want to talk about Sisu. This is a what is he? What was it? Finland? Where the hell is this guy from? All right. So I'll talk about this movie briefly. What this is, it's a World War II based movie about this soldier who this is the very end of World War II. The Nazis are all running. Like they've been pretty much like the victory has kind of been decided. And so this guy, I think he's from Finland. He's a Finnish soldier, and he's like, I'm retired. I'm gonna take my horse and my big pan, and I'm gonna go pan for gold in these foothills. And so he goes off and does that, and he encounters a roving band of Nazis, and it turns out he's a secret badass. And he is absolutely terrifying, like Rambo style movie where this guy kicks the shit out of everybody and gets the shit kicked out of him too, and keeps going just like Rocky. You know, like it's not about how hard you can hit; it's about how hard you can get hit. You know that shit. Well, it's basically like that. Uh-oh, Jason, I think we lost your camera. Oh, no, it's back. No, it's not. We have technical difficulties.
Yep.
So, Sisu, if you love, like, one of those movies where, like, dude just... It's like you're rooting for this guy the whole time, and he's kicking ass, and he's killing a bunch of Nazis. We can all agree that it's always cool to kill Nazis in movies, right? Because sometimes you just need a bad guy, and don't worry, they make the bad guys especially bad in this movie. But it's really great. The actor is amazing. He's really scary. There's not a ton of dialogue. It's just all about ass kicking. Now let's see. Can Jason fix his camera? This is great because we're about to talk about a movie that Jason saw. So, how about you got audio, Jason? You got audio?
I got audio. I'm trying to get back on.
We want to see your sexy head, man.
Oh, I'm working on it. I think I'm working
Because
on
the next movie that's coming up, I didn't see.
it. Yeah, and the movie that you didn't see yet, and I actually got a chance to see it this weekend.
Yep.
Um, Let me make sure. Let me try to get back on here. Um, Fill some air there, Mike.
Let's see. Okay, so there is a movie that I saw that I think is worth talking about that I didn't plan to talk about, but what if anyone out there has seen this series of movies, and one of those movies that you might have seen is called Bone Tomahawk. Bone Tomahawk is a seriously fucked up movie, and it's really long, and it's kind of like got a cowboy movie kind. Oh, Jason's back. I'm gonna talk about this movie a little bit.
Okay.
Kind of long and has a lot of pacing, but it's like extremely violent, and it's really like screwed up. Really messed up movie. Well, I saw Bone Tomahawk back in the day. I highly recommend it if you like real cowboy movies. They're like slow and dramatic, and there's like constant tension, like kind of old school kind of shit like that.
Oh, absolutely.
So this guy that made Bone Tomahawk made a bunch of these movies, and they're really dark and crazy. Well, I saw this movie that he made, the guy that made it. It's called Dragged Across Concrete, and it's basically about a robbery gone awry, and about the dramatic kind of tension between like two kind of gung-ho police officers that get busted for excessive violence, like abuse. It's a little bit questionable, like whether they deserve to be suspended or not. And they get suspended, and then they go on kind of a semi-vigilante sort of crusade against this group of Russians that are performing a robbery. And it's this new like kind of trend of movies that are super high tension. They're almost like cowboy western kind of pacing movies. I keep saying cowboy movies, I mean like western movies. Like really slow pacing, super violent. I would recommend. There's this guy Craig Zoller, and I think he's made about 4 or 5 movies now. I think I can recommend just about all of them. Bone Tomahawk, I can highly recommend. Dragged Across Concrete, I can recommend too. But they're very specific sort of movies, and really violent, really high tension, really high drama, great dialogue, that kind of shit.
Do you know if it's on Netflix?
Let's see. I think I've watched these on Amazon Prime, maybe.
Okay, that's perfect too.
I think I'll get you some links to them, but Bone Tomahawk, by the way, is like an absolutely terrifying movie, man. It's fucked up. It's got Kurt Russell's in it, and he's awesome. Like it's a bunch of like Mel Gibson was in Dragged Across Concrete. If you haven't seen him in a while, he's awesome.
Oh wow.
Yep. So this guy Craig Zoller is the basically all these movies are like his brainchild. He's kind of like a Tarantino sort of guy, where he like kind of controls the whole process, and you can really tell it's like his baby. These movies are his baby. So really cool stuff, man. Yeah. I've seen 2 of his movies now. Bone Tomahawk, Dragged Across Concrete. Dragged Across Concrete I just watched probably a week ago, and I thought it was really, really good, but very unlike, definitely not like a Tarantino movie at all, but it's really like high drama, high tension, slow pacing, super violent.
Maybe we'll put those in the comments and give them a shout out. Their proper due.
Yep. Now
I think I want to check out that Bone Tomahawk though. But yeah,
are you ready? Here we go.
Renfield.
Look at that poster,
Man,
Jason.
what a movie this is. Like, I don't know how many people are actually anticipating this movie or was excited about it,
I was
but
excited
it's
about it,
Nick
but I
Cage.
haven't seen it yet.
It is it's Nick Cage. You know, you got to think either good or bad. It's either going to be funny
Yes.
or it's just going to be dog
They're
trash.
awkward.
Yeah.
Sometimes
And
awkward, sometimes amazing. Yeah.
you know, I love the story of Dracula.
Hmm. Me too.
You know, read so many different, variations,
Yep, me too.
and I think Nick Cage is kind of like one of us, to be honest with you, because he depicted his version of what Dracula was,
Hmm.
and I know he's the secondary character in this,
Hmm.
but he is the star, the actual big name, and I gotta tell you, I thought the movie was pretty awesome.
Oh, cool. All right, now
I
I'm definitely
did
gonna watch it now. Yeah.
I did happen to shut my eyes for 5 minutes, but Nick Cage wasn't in the scene, so maybe that was part of the problem. But
So
it
watch it and
is
watch for Nick Cage. Got it.
it is it's a cool twist on what you would not expect,
Is it
Dracula
like
and
Bram
Renfield to be.
Stoker style Dracula? Like is it kind of old
That's
school?
kind of close. It's kind of close to what he wanted it to be,
Yep.
and
The Bram Stoker Dracula story I loved. I read it a million times. It's so good. I love the movie they ultimately made in like the 90s or whatever with Keanu Reeves and Winona
yes,
Ryder and Gary
absolutely,
Oldman.
yeah,
I love that. But if
me
it's kind
too.
of based around that Dracula, like I'm in.
It has a lot of like vampire lore, like
Hmm.
you know, can't come in unless you're invited in.
Yep.
Um, Nick Cage goes through a bunch of fighting, but as Dracula being the very first vampire, it takes him a while, but he heals up. And like
Hmm.
Renfield is narrating the whole thing, and
Hmm.
I really thought it was entertaining. I think
Hmm.
that's the word
Oh,
I need to
good.
use.
Yeah.
It was, it's dubbed as a comedy horror. There
Hmm.
was no horror involved in it whatsoever. It was a good amount of blood and guts.
Yep.
Renfield's story is hilarious. When you see how he's lived this long,
Hmm.
never would have expected it. It's super funny, um, and I definitely recommend it. With that being said,
Hmm.
how I saw it was not in the theater.
Yep.
Amazon Prime
Amazon
has
Prime. We all have it.
has the ability to rent it, and you can rent it or buy it. Same thing with D&D, and I bought D&D, and I only rented this one because I
Hmm.
wasn't sure what I was going to think of it.
Yep.
Definitely entertaining movie. Um, was it the excitement level as a Mario Brothers? No, but I would probably say this was a good 8.0 movie.
Cool, cool. Yeah, I'll definitely check it out, man. I was excited about this one when I saw some previews of it back in the day, and I was like, oh shit, Nick Cage in a Dracula movie from Renfield's point of view. Like that sounds very interesting. Renfield, by the way,
Yeah.
is the guy that ate all the bugs, and he was the familiar
Yes, exactly. He
yeah, the
was. Yep.
ghoul or whatever you call it, the minion of Dracula. And he ends up going crazy in the original story and ends up eating cockroaches in an asylum and is
Yeah.
disgusting.
So definitely a little bit different, but
Yep.
it's so fun. It's fun. It's a fun
That's
movie,
great, man. Cool,
and
cool.
I think it probably won't get the credit it's due in that aspect. I'm
Hmm.
sure critics and everything are going to be like, "Ah, oh, shitted on it," but if you want something
They
fun,
shit
this
on
is
everything these
exactly
days.
it. They do.
They
They
get
do.
paid to give negative reviews anyway.
They do.
It's edgy.
Uh, well, Mike, on that note, I think we kind of
Have we go? All right.
did a
So have we go? We're at 54 minutes. Do we go to what our big topic was going to be, or do we push it to the next episode? What do we do,
I, s-
Jason?
I say we push it to the
You want
next
to push it?
episode.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, we'll do a little teaser. Mike,
All right.
me and Mike Me and
Yep.
Mike had some real heavy discussions recently about wizard metal. We'll
Yes.
leave it at that.
We'll leave it at that. Wizard metal.
And how much I
Tune
hate
in.
it.
Tune in for the next podcast. In-depth musical discussion with your two
It's
favorite
gonna be a
hosts,
big one.
Mike and Jason.
A big one, you guys. And especially when it comes to this genre of music. So until then, we'll see you.
We'll see you next time, folks.